Hello, I am FoxyNoTail and this video is all about add-ons. What are add-ons? How do they work? And how do you import them to your game, your realm and your server? This video has been split up into chapters so that you can easily navigate to the bit you're interested in, and you can find all of the timestamps for the relevant sections in the description below. So first of all, we're going to start with, what are add-ons? Well, add-ons, otherwise known as behavior packs, are changes to the vanilla Minecraft game. You can download them in the form of a behavior pack or an add-on or a pack from various websites, including my own, and you can install them onto your game to change how the game works. For instance, in this world, I have my mob heads and mini blocks behavior packs or add-ons enabled, which means that I can go around using these custom blocks, which are basically entities, and using a range of different colors of dyes, I can manipulate these entities to do what I want them to do and position them and resize them and all of that sort of good stuff. There is a lot more to add-ons than just custom blocks and entities, however, but we'll get into that later. First, we need to ask the question, are add-ons mods? And the answer is quite simple. No, they're not, but it is a little bit more complicated than that. Mods, if you don't know, are a way to modify a game, and not just Minecraft, it's a way to modify any game. Mods have existed for all sorts of games for years and years and years, but they are most prevalent on Minecraft Java Edition. Now, Bedrock Edition add-ons are not mods because they don't modify the game's main code. Mods to most games take the code from the main part of the game, manipulate it, kind of like hacking into the game, and change it depending on what the programmer of the mod wants to happen in the game. Add-ons do not work like that. They are not hacked in bits of programming to the core game. They are in fact bits of code that are created within the confines of what Mojang allow us to change. So basically, yes, they're kind of mods because they modify the game code, but they modify it in a way that Mojang actually say we can, and they give us a way to actually add it into the game without needing to hack into the game with glitchy launchers and things like that. So whilst that means that they are supported by the actual developers of Minecraft, it does mean that they're not as powerful as mods because we can't do everything. A quick Google search of the best mods for Minecraft Java comes up with a list, and most of the things on this list just can't be made with add-ons. Optimize, for instance, is an optimization mod for Minecraft Java Edition that changes the core features of the game that affect things like graphics and the way the game loads chunks and things like that. Those sorts of changes are just not possible as part of add-ons because add-ons don't allow you to change things graphically. Whereas mods can change literally anything they want in the game because they're manipulating or adding to the game's main code, add-on has to live within the certain boundaries that are set by the Minecraft developers, which means they can't do things like changing the build height of the world, or the world generation itself beyond a few custom biomes which was recently added. We can't create things like custom enchantments on tools or change the effect of gravity in the world. We can't change things in terms of optimization like changing how things render or the visual aspects of the game, and we can't add in tools like mini-maps or inventory changes to allow us to have more inventory slots or anything like that. So they really are quite limited in what they can do. Having said that, as much as they are limited, they are still incredibly flexible and allow us to do some really special and crazy things within the core game. As we can see just from this simple demonstration, we can have custom blocks and custom entities. We can also have completely custom mobs and items that do crazy things and all sorts of stuff in the game that's just, not vanilla. But it's still all only within the confines of what the developers decide we can change and what we can't change. If you've downloaded add-ons before from the internet, particularly from places like mcpe, you may well have come across something called experimental mode, which is now called experiments, and it exists in the game's settings for your world. There are now 3 types of experiments, whereas there used to be just one toggle for this, and each one of these will enable more features to be used within add-ons and behavior packs. By turning these on, you can use experimental features within your world, but bear in mind this won't work on realms or servers. Why would you want to enable these experimental features? Well, some add-ons rely on those features. If you are doing anything with custom blocks at the moment, or custom tools or items, then you need the experimental features in order for those to work. Why do these experimental features exist rather than just being as part of the add-ons like normal? It's basically beta testing. It's a way for the developers to hide them away behind switches in case those features don't really work, so that they're not added into add-ons for like the marketplace or things you download which could potentially break your game. Unfortunately, these experimental features cannot be used on realms or servers, so if you have a pack that you want to use on a realm or a server and it requires these experimental features, unfortunately you'll have to wait until they're no longer within experimental features and part of a stable release before you can upload them. So now that we know a little bit about what they are and how they work, what do they consist of? Well, add-ons can consist of both a behavior pack and a resource pack, and these things are two completely separate things, but they can work together to create an add-on. A resource pack is anything that changes the visual aspects of the game. For instance, in my mob head resource pack, we've got all of the textures for the different heads in here that are used to actually texture the blocks themselves or the entities themselves. The resource pack can also include things like animations, for instance, how a player or an entity is animated, and also the models, what they look like within the game. The resource pack itself cannot change what an item or an entity or a block does though. That is where the behavior pack comes in. And the reason it's called a behavior pack is because it affects the behavior of entities. By behavior, I mean how fast things walk, or how they attack things, or the strength of their attacks. Sometimes an add-on won't have a resource pack. Something like my one-player sleep doesn't change anything in terms of the visuals. It only affects the player itself, so it doesn't need to have a resource pack. So don't worry if you've downloaded an add-on that doesn't have a resource pack attached. So how do you make add-ons and behavior packs, and how are they coded? Well, they're written in a programming language called JSON, and there is a whole wealth of stuff online that teaches you how to build them. On the main Minecraft wiki, there are step-by-step tutorials on how to create behavior packs, and there are also other programs like Bridge which help you actually create and write the packs. One of the resources I use the most is something called bedrock.dev, which if you type that into your browser, you will get this page, which has all sorts of information of all the components that you could possibly need for creating behavior packs. And it also has a very handy wiki that again goes into a lot of detail and tutorials and stuff like that. This is more valuable than anything else I've ever come across. So a popular question I get asked quite a lot about behavior packs and add-ons is, can I combine them together? And the answer is yes, but also no. Here we have two behavior packs. One is my one-player sleep behavior pack, and the other one is my spectator mode behavior pack. They cannot be combined together purely because they both rely on the player entity. Both are using the vanilla player entity file from the vanilla part of the game, but changing it in a way that makes the add-ons work. You can see on the left hand side we have the one player sleep pack, and on the right hand side we have the spectator mode pack, and they are different. I've got a comparison between both of these, and you can see there's a lot of stuff going on one that's not going on the other. So if you added both of these to your world, it would only be the one at the top that would work because it would overwrite the file that was in the bottom one. So if we go into this world and we put a bed down, you'll see when I click on it, it will instantly ping me out of the bed, change the time to day and say good morning. But if I give myself the right tags and try and use the golden carrot, I'm not going to go into spectator mode. However, if I go back to the world and deactivate the one player sleep from that and then go back into it, this time when I use the bed, it's going to sleep as it would in vanilla and not kick me out and say good morning like the pack did. But if I crouch and use the carrot, you're going to see I am now in spectator mode because that's now working. So basically, some packs just are not compatible with each other. The only way I could get these two packs to work would be to go through the player entity file and take the things out of one of them and put them into the other one to combine them within the same file, and therefore turn two behavior packs or two add-ons into one. So basically, they can be combined, but sometimes they might conflict and break each other, so it's best to not try and combine them unless you really know what you're doing. One thing you might hear referred to a lot when you're dealing with add-ons and behavior packs is something called a UUID, or a Universal Unique Identifier. There are lots of them with add-ons, but what are they, what do they do, and why are they important? Every single behavior pack and every single resource pack you come across should have inside of it a manifest file which basically tells Minecraft Bedrock Edition what this pack is, what this folder is, and what it does. Things are about to get very complicated very quickly and quite boring, so feel free to skip this if you don't find it useful. The unique identifier and the version number here tells Minecraft Bedrock Edition what this pack is and how to link to it inside of your game. In each pack and resource pack, there are two key ones of these. You've got the UUID here in the header, and you've got the UUID here in the module. And if you're linking to a resource pack as well, you may have a dependency section here with another one. Every time you make changes to a resource pack, maybe you change a file or change how something works, or maybe you just add a new texture, or you tweak a texture, or you change something in the loot table. No matter how small the change, you need to update this manifest with a whole new UUID and version number so that the game doesn't get confused and give out your old versions. The easiest way to do this is to go online, and if you Google UUID generator, the top one is absolutely fine. It's the version 4 you need, and you can click on this button here and it will give you a number at the top which you can then copy and put into your manifest file, like that. Then you need to change your version number, and the easiest way to do that is to just add 1 to the last number. And you need to do the same thing for this section here as well. So we're going to go back to the website, we're going to refresh the page to generate another, we're going to copy it, paste it in there and add 1 to the version, and this version number here needs to match this version number here. If your add-on has a resource pack as well, we need to go into that folder and change the manifest file in there as well. We need a completely new UUID in there, and we need a completely new UUID in there as well. And the way I do it, rather than using the website, is I actually have a plugin for Notepad++ called ToolBucket, which can generate they call it a GUID, but if I press Alt, Shift and G, it gives me a new UUID, so I can just change that as many times as I want, which is very handy. Then obviously change the version numbers again, and you'll notice I haven't changed the one in dependencies. This is where it gets slightly complicated. In your behavior pack manifest, the one that says data inside the module section, that number there needs to be exactly the same as the one at the top of your resource pack manifest. So what we do is we go to our resource pack manifest, grab that, copy it with Ctrl and C, go into our behavior pack manifest and paste that into there. And the version number needs to match this one as well. If your version number in your resource pack is different from the one in your behavior pack, you need to make sure that this version number here matches the one in your behavior pack dependency section. So now your behavior pack dependency links to your resource pack. Now we need to do it the other way around. The dependency section in your resource pack, which is this bit here, now needs to match what is in the top of your behavior pack manifest. So we will copy the UUID from there and paste it into there. And we need to make sure that the version is the same as well. So we've got 4012 on there. We need 4012 on there. So now this one matches that one. You'll notice though, I didn't change this version number here when I was fiddling then. I need to do that as well so that everything matches. Whew, I'm sorry about that. I know that was a lot of complication for early on in this video, but it's one of those things that if you don't do that, and you're fiddling with add-ons, or you're changing them or updating them or switching them between realms and servers, it's really easy to run into problems with packs not working or not loading incorrectly, or you're getting the wrong textures or the wrong files, just generally problems. So if you're fiddling with add-ons, then you really need to learn how to do that. If you're not fiddling with add-ons and you're just downloading them to use on your worlds, then don't worry about that at all. Another question I get asked an awful lot is, can you put your add-ons on the marketplace because I can't download them to my phone or my console? And the answer is no. Unfortunately, Mojang do not allow add-ons to be uploaded to the marketplace. If we go to the search and the filter, you can see what pack types are available. You can have skin packs on the marketplace, texture packs, which are resource packs, and you can have worlds and like adventure maps and things like that, which can contain add-ons, but you can't actually just have add-ons through the marketplace. Now, I've got no idea why Mojang don't allow that. It seems like they're completely missing out on a substantial amount of business as far as I'm concerned, but they don't allow it, so unfortunately I can't add them to the marketplace. Nobody can. There is a way to get add-ons on the marketplace, and that is to create a map that actually has your add-ons built into it, and then you have to use all sorts of file management tools in order to get the add-ons out of that world and put them into your own worlds, which is just incredibly complicated and difficult to do. And the marketplace content curators are not daft. If they think you're uploading a map just to add in an add-on, they won't allow it. You have to have a significant build and significant things going on in that map in order for them to allow it onto the marketplace. So it's not just like I could throw up this world with these add-ons included and they would list it. That's not a thing. I would have to build an entire world that was functional and did all sorts of interesting and fun things for them to consider it a worthwhile map for the marketplace, just so that you could steal the add-ons out of it. It's not going to happen. So no. So yes, but also no, or no, but also anyway. Another question I get a lot is, do the add-ons update automatically? And the answer again, unfortunately, is no, they don't. If you hop over to FoxyNoTail.com and to my download section, you'll see that my add-ons are listed here with the older versions included as well, so that you can see there is a new version. And unfortunately, each time I update the new version, you need to download the latest one and put it into your world. Now, it's really important that you always use the latest version in your worlds, because these add-ons rely on vanilla things in the game. If you're using Mobhead's version 2.0.5 in the latest version of Minecraft, your world's not going to work the same way most people's will. In order to make my Mobheads pack work, it has to alter some of the vanilla entities in the game, such as villagers and rabbits and parrots and things like that. So if you're using an old version of my pack, then you're using an old version of, for instance, villagers. Loading up this villager file, you'll see that this is the format version 1.16.100, and it has all of the updated villager code from the vanilla part of the game, which make villagers work the way they're supposed to work. This includes what time they go to sleep and how they will interact with farms and crops and how they interact with their workstations and all sorts of stuff. So every time Minecraft updates to the next version of the game, I have to update these packs to make sure that we are using the latest vanilla entities. Otherwise, you get things like drowns still dropping tridents when you kill them when they've taken that out of the game. Even if you're running on a realm or a server, the packs are not going to update themselves automatically. You need to keep coming and checking every time there's an update to the Minecraft game to see if I've updated my packs, and the same for other people's packs as well, so you can make sure you're running the right version. How do you update a pack on a world that's already got packs on it? And it's really quite simple. Now, obviously, I'm using the Windows 10 version of the game here, which makes life a lot easier for me, but providing you've got the latest updated version of the packs onto your console or your mobile device, the process is the same. On the world that you want to update the packs, click on the little pen icon and go to your behavior packs and resource pack folders. On behavior packs, you'll see that you've got one active. What we're going to do is go to My Packs, and we're going to get the latest version, which we're using Mini Blocks version 3.1.4 on the world. We need to update that to 4.0.11, which is the latest one. So we're going to click on that, click Activate, and then click Continue. Then we're going to have to deactivate the old one, and we need to do it twice so it actually goes away, and we need to just check that in the resource packs, they're not both there. The old one's still there, so let's deactivate that. We're left with just the latest version in resource packs and the latest version in behavior packs. So now when we go into the world, you can see they're all still there and they all still work just as they did before. Updating them on Realms is pretty much the same process, but updating them on the Bedrock dedicated server is a little bit more tricky, but we'll go into that later on when we go through the how to install add-ons on the Bedrock dedicated server. One last thing before we get into the how to add them to your worlds and whatnot, and that is a warning. And a warning about things like viruses from websites where you might find these packs. If you've ever downloaded add-ons from my website, you'll know that I give a direct download link. I don't go through any third-party download providers like Mediafire because I don't want you to risk getting things like viruses. Now, I'm not saying Mediafire is going to be injecting viruses into your downloads, or that the download's necessarily going to include viruses, but places like mcpe, where you're downloading packs, often have not particularly great ways to get hold of the files. For instance, if we click on the New Mutant Creatures add-on here, and scroll down to the very bottom where the downloads are, when we click the download link to go to the download page, we get a warning saying that you're going from mcpe to a different page and you need to be careful. So when we click on that, we get an advi thing that then wants to give us notifications and pop-ups and all sorts of crazy stuff, and these links themselves can often have phishing stuff in and problems like that. And already we've been fired off to a new download page. Now, this is not the download that I've requested. This is a phishing site. This is a download. This is not what we want. This is some other company trying to inject software onto our PC so that they can take advantage of us. We don't want that at all. And these pop-ups are quite regular from places like AdFi and Mediafire because the ads are not regulated. Clicking through to actually get to the download link still doesn't actually come up with what we need. We're now on some random website that we didn't want to be on, and we've got more pop-ups left, right and center. So my point is, if you are downloading add-ons from any source and you end up on a link like that where it's not immediately giving you the download, then just be very careful, because it's very easy to fill your computer up with malware, spyware, and all sorts of crazy stuff that will slow it down, break it, and potentially risk your data and your files as well. So now we know all about add-ons, what they are, how they work and what they do, and where to get them from. We can finally look at how we install them, and we're going to start with how we install them on our single player world. Just a quick point before we start, this video isn't going to go into detail on how to actually get the add-ons onto your console or mobile device. I'm going to assume that you've already followed tutorials like this one here that actually exists on the Minecraft wiki, which goes through how to get add-ons from the internet onto your Xbox One. Doing a quick Google search will also help you find out how to do that on your Switch or your PS4 or PS5 as well. So I'm not going to go into that because, well, I don't actually have Minecraft on console, so I wouldn't know how to tell you to do it, but Google is your best friend here. There's loads and loads of videos and resources available. I'm sure you can manage to find that if you really want to do this. So before we do anything else, the first thing we should really look at is the file names that you might find when you download these add-ons or resource packs. There's a few, but the most common ones are .mcworld, .mcpack, and .mcaddon. You may also have .zip or .rar, which we'll cover in a second. .mcaddon is the file name for an add-on or behavior pack, which can also include a resource pack. .mcpack is the extension for just a resource pack, and .mcworld is the extension for your world, so your world that can also include add-ons and packs. But an add-on should never be named .mcpack, and a pack should never be named .mcaddon, because that'll just confuse the whole thing. Now, it might be that you've downloaded a zip file, and when you open it up, you're given the folder structure on the inside directly like this. Generally speaking, in that case, you can either drag these folders into the corresponding locations in your Minecraft files, or you can rename the .zip to .mcaddon and double click it or activate it, and it will install in the game on its own, like so. Import started. So there you go, it's now successfully imported the behavior pack and the resource pack. Now, if you open your demo.zip or your pack.zip and you get a folder, and then inside that you've got your resource pack and your behavior pack, then you won't be able to rename that. You will need to unzip it first. So you can open that using Windows, or I like to use 7-zip, and if we extract that to a folder called demo, you can see that we've got the folders on the inside. Again, we can drag the right folders into the right places, or we can then zip both of those up ourselves like this, and then rename that to .mc add-on. And then if we double click that one, it should install like it did before. And there we go. It successfully imported the behavior pack, and then it successfully imports the resource pack. Once you've got the files installed or imported to your game, if you go to settings and global resources, if your behavior pack included a resource pack, it will show in there, but this is not how we activate add-ons or behavior packs. We need to do that per world. If you click on storage and then go to behavior packs, you'll see there that we've got the behavior packs listed here. And some of them have a little yellow icon next to it. And when you click on that, it says there is a dependency missing, and you can completely ignore that. The dependency is telling it that it is linked to a resource pack. If you look at the resource pack, that will also say it's missing a dependency. It's not. It's just because in the storage area, those two are separate, whereas in your world, they need to be added together. So the simplest way to add these to your single player world is either with a new world or an existing world. The method's the same. If we go to create new world, and then give it a name, you can put whatever details you want inside of this. Well, I'm going to go for a creative world. I'm going to make it flat. I'm going to make it peaceful just for the sake of testing today. And if we scroll on the left hand side to our behavior packs, you can then add them by clicking activate in the my pack section, and they will then go into the active section. Now, if your pack has a behavior pack and a resource pack built into it, you need to double check that the resource pack has gone inside of your active folders. This is where the dependencies are. When I click to enable the behavior pack, that should automatically put the resource pack in here. However, if it didn't, for whatever reason, I would then have to go into my packs and then add that in there as well. If it doesn't have the resource pack, it's not going to work. Also, if you've got more than one pack installed on your world, it might be that there are overwriting files like we discussed earlier, which could cause problems. So make sure that you've put the pack that you want to be the dominant one at the top, and it will overwrite anything from the ones below it. Once you're happy you've got both the resource pack and the behavior pack on your world, you can then create your world, and it will load up. Bear in mind, adding any add-on pack to your world will void achievements. Adding resource packs won't, but adding behavior packs will. And you can see, just like that, we already have all of the mini blocks inside the world that we can go placing around and breaking and doing whatever we want with. So adding them to single player is really nice and easy. And adding them to an existing world is just as easy. If you've already got a world you want to add some add-ons to, click the edit button next to it, go to your behavior packs, find the pack and activate it. It will turn off achievements like I said, but it should go into your active pack section there, and the resource pack should automatically go in. Again, if it doesn't, make sure it is in there and make sure you manually put it in. Then you can click on play. Those will be added to your world and you can use it. Simple as that. Now, if you're using my mini blocks or mob head packs and you end up with a load of black spawn eggs in your inventory instead of the items, it means your resource pack's not working or it's conflicting with something. So make sure it is definitely loaded and at the top of the list. Okay, but what if the MC World file or the MC Pack file doesn't work when you double click on it and it doesn't import into the game properly? Let's say it says level import failed there like that, or it's just not working. We can add it in manually. So the first thing we would do is rename it to .zip again, like we said we were going to, and extract it into a folder. Once we've got that folder, we can open it and we can see we've got a behavior pack here and a resource pack. If your behavior pack and resource pack are not very well named, if you go into them, you can tell which is which by clicking on the manifest file inside. The manifest for the behavior pack will say data inside of the module section, and the manifest for the resource pack will say resources inside of the module section. So we're going to add these files into the game manually, and in order to do that, we need to find the folder where Minecraft is installed. Now on Windows 10, it's always going to be the same file directory, and that is in your local folders of your app data, which might be hidden files. The easiest way to find it is to type in your address bar with a %, then local app data and then another %sign, and that will take you to this folder here. You can then click on packages, and inside that you'll find Microsoft.Minecraft UWP. Click on that, go into local state, then games, then com.mojang, and you will find all of these folders here. It will not be the same directory structure on your mobile device or your console. You'll have to figure that out for yourself, I'm afraid, because I don't know what it will be. Once you've found those, you will then find that you've got a couple of folders. One's called Behavior Packs and one is called Resource Packs. And these are literally where we're going to drop these files off. So let's open up Behavior Pack. Let's grab our mini blocks _B1, our Behavior Pack folder, and we're just going to copy it into there. Then we can go back, go to our Resource Packs and grab our Resource Pack folder and just drop it into there. We can also do this on a per world basis, which is a little bit more complicated. But if you go to your Minecraft Worlds folder and find a world, you can actually drop it into the Behavior Packs and Resource Packs folders in there. And as long as you link to those in your World Resource Packs and World Behavior Packs files, then that will work, even if they're not in your main Behavior Packs and Resource Packs folders. But that's getting complicated, so let's keep things simple. Now that we've installed both of those, when we reload Minecraft, the game should find them. If it hasn't, then you've got a problem somewhere. Maybe your pack is broken or it's an outdated pack, but they should both appear inside of your storage section. So if we go to storage, go to Behavior Packs, you can see the mini blocks one we've just chucked in there. That is our demo folder, is there. And if we go to Resource Packs, you will see it is there as well. So then we can hit play and go to our world and hit the edit thing and grab our pack from there and activate it. Make sure we've got the Resource Pack active as well, and that will work absolutely fine. Job's a good one. Right, now how do we add them to realms? Okay, so in the last section we discussed how we get the add-ons into our game, into Minecraft itself, but how do we install them onto our realms? First of all, you'll need a realm, and if you've got one, you can click on the little pen next to it, and they've made it much easier in the most recent versions of Bedrock Edition because we actually have Resource Pack and Behavior Pack folders here. So we can click on our Behavior Packs and we can actually just add our packs, just like in our single player worlds, directly to the world itself. We can then come out of that, and that will start uploading those packs to the realm. Or crash your game, like it does in mine. Now, I'm not going to lie, managing realms has never been an easy process. It often fails, it often crashes, and it's very buggy trying to do things. I spent 2 days trying to update my realm to the latest version of Minecraft and kept being told that I am not allowed to access it for 48 hours, which made life very frustrating. But should it work the way it's intended to, it should be quite easy. What I'm going to do to make life a little bit easier for myself is I'm going to actually open the realm. Now, you can close a realm without cancelling the subscription, which means people can't join it. Opening the realm actually activates it and means that you can then join that realm and play in it. When it's closed, you can't play in it at all. After waiting patiently for around about 4,000 years, you should finally get to the building terrain screen and get into your realm. There we go, we are now in a realm. I have reset it, so it should be a brand new world, and this won't have any of the packs in just yet, I don't think. So once your realm is active and actually working, then you should be able to come in and activate your behavior packs and your resource packs to those realms. Remember that adding any behavior pack to your world or realm or server will deactivate achievements. Resource packs on their own won't, because they only change the look of the game, but behavior packs are effectively cheating. Doesn't matter what's inside them. The rules is, by Mojang, if they're in the game, then you don't get achievements. It's just one of those things, nothing you can do about it as an add-on creator. So once you've added those in, then click play. Eventually, it should go into an export process and an upload process, and fingers crossed it won't crash and it will actually put those add-ons onto this world. Well, it's gone through the upload process. It now says it's applying the packs, which is a good sign. And now it's allowing me to join the realm, so let's see what happens once we get in there. So now we're in the world. Interestingly, the mini blocks don't actually come up in the creative menu, but if I summon in a wandering trader, you can see he has the mini blocks available for sale, and I can buy them from him and I can place them. So they are working. but for whatever reason in this version of the game in creative mode we no longer have access to those items. So that process, although a little bit bumpy because realms are a bit awkward to manage, did work. Now there is another way to get your add-ons onto your realm, which also means you can then download them again on your console or your mobile device without having to go through the rigmarole of using a file manager to get them on, which means you can use your add-ons on other worlds by having a realm. Let me show you that one. To do this, you'll need a PC with the Windows 10 version of Minecraft or Minecraft on a mobile device. And you will need a world like our add-ons one here with behavior packs and resource packs already added on. You also need to make sure that that world within your Minecraft Worlds folder has the packs actually inside of the behavior packs and resource packs folder. This is the world that we are dealing with, and those packs need to physically be inside those and not just linking back to the main packs that we talked about earlier on inside of our behavior packs and resource packs folder. They need to be inside these ones or it won't work. Now they should go in there automatically when you add them in through this system here, but just in case this doesn't work, double check that they are actually in there. So all we need to do is we go back to our test realm and we scroll down on the main menu and we go to replace world, confirm, and then we pick which one we want, which is the top one, and that will export the world including the behavior packs and resource packs to our realm. It's done that, it's uploaded everything, it says let's go. So now when I click on play, it should after a very long time connect you, but unfortunately we are dealing with realms, so I'll guess I'll try again later. Oh jeez. So the next and final step is all about how to add your add-ons and behavior packs to your Bedrock dedicated server. This will work for just resource packs as well. And if you're not familiar with the Bedrock dedicated server, you can get it from Minecraft.net. This page here allows you to download the dedicated server for both Windows and for Linux as well. And if you click on the I agree and hit download, you'll be able to download it to your downloads folder and then run it as a server. Now, I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty of how to run and manage a server in this video. I have another video for that. All I'm going to do is show you how to add your add-ons and resource packs. In order to do that, we're going to need to run the server though, so we're going to drag all of the files out of that zip file into our server folder, and I've created a folder called BDS on my C drive, so I'm going to drag those into there. And the very first thing I'm going to do before I put in a world or anything like that is I'm just going to run it. And first of all, it'll come up with a security alert saying, do I want to run it? And I do, and I want to tick both of these boxes because that means that people will be able to access it externally. And once I've finished running that, I can type in stop, hit return, and it will close. And now you can see we've got a lot more files and folders than we had before. The first time you run the world, it generates all of the files it needs and the folder structure it needs to actually run. And if we go inside the worlds folder, you'll see it has created a world called Bedrock Level, and that has some very basic stuff inside of it. You might also notice back here we've got a behavior packs folder and a resource packs folder, which will be quite familiar to you if you've been following the rest of this video. Now, the process to add our behavior packs and resource packs to the dedicated server is quite manual, but it's also not too difficult at all. A lot of it is relatively automatic. The first thing we are going to want to do is open up our behavior packs folder and drag in our behavior pack, or copy it into our behavior packs folder. Then we want to go to our resource packs folder and do the same thing with our resource packs, just like we did earlier on. We now have a behavior pack in our behavior packs folder and a resource pack in our resource packs folder. So now when we run the server again, remember we're just using the vanilla one it's set up for us, not our own world just yet. We double click that and it will run. And then we can stop it again. And now what will have happened, it will have added those packs into our valid known packs file. It generates this file completely automatically. You don't need to fiddle with it, and it will add in anything it finds within the correct folders. So you can see here it's found our behavior pack, and if we scroll up a little bit, you will see here it has found our resource pack. Now, the important things we need to take from this file are these UUID numbers and these version numbers. If you do this and your packs do not go into your valid known packs file automatically, then you have put them in the wrong place, or your folder structure is wrong, or your packs are just not valid. Make sure when you go into your behavior pack folder that it is the root folder and there's not another folder inside of it, and double check in the manifest that it is the behavior pack one and not the resource pack one. The same goes for your resource packs. Assuming you've done it right and they've come up in your valid known packs, the next thing we need to do is add them to our world. So we can go to our Bedrock level folder, which is inside of our world directory, and we need a couple of files inside here. If we right click in here and go to new and then text document, we can type in world resource packs, and we're going to change the file name to .json. If when you're adding a new file, you don't have the .txt at the end of it, you need to go to your View tab at the top and tick File Name Extensions. Then you'll get the .txt. It's very important that this file ends in .json and not .txt. Once we got that file, we can open it using Notepad or another editor of your choice. I use Notepad++. And inside this folder, we need to then link to this file that it's found here. Now, if you're not 100% sure of the structure of this file or how to write this file, there is another way we can do this, providing you've already got a world in your Minecraft game that has resource packs or behavior packs in it. So let's close that. Let's go back to our Bedrock level folder and delete that file we've just created. And then let's go to a folder that's in our Minecraft worlds that we know has behavior packs and resource packs already in it. Here's one we made earlier. And what we're going to do is we're going to copy the world behavior packs.json and the world resource packs.json files into our new bit. And I'm just going to drag them across into there. It says they might be harmful. I know they're not, so I'm going to click OK. And now if we open up that one, you can see the structure we've got. Now we're only adding in one resource pack, so we can get rid of two of these like that. And we need to get rid of that trailing comma there so that the file will register correctly. And now what we need to do is change this pack ID and this version number so they match what is in our valid known packs. So I'm going to use the split view in Notepad++ to make this easier for me. And I am going to highlight this UUID here for our resource pack. I'm going to copy it by hitting Ctrl+C. I'm going to highlight the pack ID here and I'm going to paste it by hitting Ctrl+V. And the version I'm just going to copy, but it needs to be commas instead of dots. So it's 4,0,11 to match this one here. Now I can save that resource packs file and then I can do the same thing for the behavior packs one. So back to our folder, world behavior packs.json. If it doesn't exist, you can create it or copy it like I just did. Double click that. And again, we only need one of these because we're only adding in one pack. So I can delete the bottom one, get rid of that last comma there so that it doesn't confuse the file. And now I need to scroll down in my valid known packs file to find the behavior pack, which we know is somewhere near the bottom. Again, copy my UUID from there, paste it into here like that. And then we're going to change the version to match. So it's 4,0,11. And then we can save that file as well. Now, when we go back to our BDS folder and click on the Bedrock server, it will run it again. And this time those add-ons will actually be there working as part of the server. And we can check that by logging into this server. So I've got my locals host server just here. I'm going to click on that and click join server. We should see here that player connected FoxyNoTail has appeared. And inside this, I am not in creative mode and I probably can't use cheats. I can't. Cheats are not enabled because I haven't changed the files, but we can do that from the server to give us cheats. So if I type in the console, game mode C FoxyNoTail, that will put me into creative mode within the game. And now we can see if the mini blocks has worked. Again, they're not showing here, so let's try a wandering trader. Let's put him in there and let's check him for trades. And there we go. He has got the mini blocks on him. So the mini blocks are working absolutely fine as part of the Bedrock dedicated server. And it really is as simple as that. Now, there's an important thing to note on adding these to the Bedrock dedicated server, and that is that there's some confusion over the resource pack and behavior pack folders. As you can see, we've got the folders here in the root of the Bedrock dedicated server files. That's where they need to be. But sometimes you also have those folders inside of your world folder, particularly if you've copied that world from your single player worlds directory. you do not want them inside of here. If you add them in here, even if you link the right details in these packs, they won't work. They have to go in your root folders in here. Minecraft works so well. What's happened to my inventory? In my URGs, everything. Oh, jeez. Anyway, so that's all well and good for how to add add-ons to a fresh world that doesn't have any add-ons, but how do we update add-ons on a server? So here I have a server which is running an old version of the mini blocks and mob heads pack. You can see it is working absolutely fine, but I want to update these packs to the latest versions. Let's do that. So just like we had before, we have the server folders, and in the behavior packs folder, you'll see I have mob heads and mini blocks, and in the resource packs folder, you'll see I have mini blocks and mob heads. Now, all of the other ones that are inside these folders I didn't mention before are very important. Don't ever delete the vanilla packs, otherwise it'll just completely break your game. They're really important, but the ones we're focusing on is updating the mini blocks and mob heads. If we go to our valid known packs file, you will see in here that we have a quite old version of the mob heads is on 3.8.0, and the mini blocks, if we can find those, is on 3.1.4. Over here I have a folder that has the latest mini block packs in it and the latest mob head packs in it, and I want to use those files to update the server, but there's a couple of things I need to do first to take precautions. First thing I'm going to do is go into my worlds folder where my world is, and I'm going to give it another name. I'm just going to add maybe an underscore at the end of it or a letter at the end of it, just so that it's no longer the world that will actually load up when we run the server. Now, when I run the server, you will see inside the worlds folder, we've got a whole new one created, which is the demo world. The reason we're doing that is when we're switching packs about, we don't want to affect anything that exists in our existing world. When we load the server with the new pack, we want to make sure we're not deleting anything. So now we've got that server running, we can stop it by typing in stop and hitting return, and we can go to our behavior packs folder and we can delete the mini blocks and mob heads packs. We can then go to the resource packs and delete the mini blocks and mob heads from there. And going back into the behavior packs folder, we're going to grab both of the behavior packs from our latest versions. So there goes the mini blocks, and I'm just going to drag them in. You can use Control and C or copy and paste if whatever you feel most comfortable with. And then I'm going to go into the resource packs. I'm going to do exactly the same thing. So the latest mini block resource pack there, and the latest mob head resource pack there. Once all of the files are in place, we need to force it to update our valid known packs file. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete it. I'm going to get rid of that altogether and then run the server again. And once it's started, I'm just going to stop it and press return again. Assuming everything's gone correctly, when I open the valid known packs file now, it should have the updated pack information in here. So we can see mini blocks now has 4.0.11, which is the latest one. And if we scroll down to mob heads, that is at 5.07, which is the latest one. So now all we've got to do is go to our world folder, and in the one we added the underscore onto the end of, we need to go into our world behavior packs.json file and our world resource packs.json file and update those. So I'm going to use the split view on Notepad++ again to make this nice and easy for me, and I'm doing the behavior packs first. So on the left hand side, I need to find the references to the behavior pack. So if I scroll down far enough, I will get to the mini blocks underscore B. I know that's a behavior pack. I can copy the UUID over to the pack ID on the other side, just like we did before, and update the version numbers to match. And I need to do that for the mob heads as well. Any packs that you're updating, you need to change. Now, if you're only updating one pack or maybe a couple of packs, but others are staying, you only need to change the ones that are obviously changed in here. So that's the behavior packs done. Now I do exactly the same thing with the resource packs. Copy and paste and change the version number. Copy and paste and change the version number. Save those files. And now before I do anything else, I'm going to copy those files into the new world that it created for us. And then I'm going to run the server again. So once I've logged in as before, I can grab myself a Wandering Trader spawn egg from creative mode and check that. The mini blocks are indeed working, and now I need to check the mob heads, which is hard to do considering they've hidden everything from the creative menu in these latest versions. But what I can do is use commands if you've got cheats enabled to give myself one of the mob heads. So let's give myself a cod spawn egg and then click on the ground, and there we go. We know that the heads and the mini blocks are working, so now we can load them into our existing world. So come out of that, stop the server, go back to your worlds folder, delete the new one that it created, and rename the one you changed before back to its original name. Now, it might be a good idea at this point just to take a quick backup of that world, just in case things go wrong. You won't lose anything then. So I've got a backup by zipping it up. Now what I can do is start the server again by double-clicking Bedrock Server. And once that's loaded, I can join it again from my worlds. And hopefully when I go in there, you will see that the mob heads are back and the mini blocks are back, and our Wandering Trader still has items for sale. So we have successfully updated the pack without any issues, without losing any data, and all is good. So there we go. After all that, you should now be an expert level 99 add-on adder-inner, and hopefully if I've done my job right, you really shouldn't have all that many questions left for me. So on that note, I'd like to say thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you found it useful. If you did, please do leave a like, and if you haven't already, please do consider subscribing, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!